Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lech Deich Musar podcast. We continue with Pele Yoeitz. We are on page 135 in the Art Scroll, day 35 of Hachzik. We're in the middle of talking about Eretz Yisrael, about how we spoke about when and if one should consider moving to Eretz Yisrael. We spoke about Avir Da'ara and all the great things about Eretz Yisrael. And now we are going to continue in that discussion. It's a great mitzvah upon children to use all their resources and influence to bring happiness to their father and mother and help them to relocate to Eretz Yisrael if that's the wish. So aside from Kibbut Avim, there's another mitzvah of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael that a child can have a chelik if they help their parents relocate to Eretz Yisrael. Why? For honoring them is greater than thousands in gold and silver. So if a person is able to help his brother, we say Sheves Achim Gam Yachad, how beautiful and harmonious it is. Ki Achiv B'Sarehu, because your brother's own flesh. Uchsiv Mibsarach Al Tisalim, V'Gadol HaMaiseh, how great is this? And Kal V'Chomer, if a person is able to bring his own parents and there's mitzvah of Kibbut Avim, how much greater and noble is such an action of helping your parents relocate to Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, this isn't the common practice, and it's hard for children to buy houses themselves. So we're talking about a very small fraction of the Yiddish demographic that would be able to buy their parents not just a house, but an Eretz Yisrael. But again, sometimes it's just worthwhile to hear the musagim, to hear the ideas of the idealism of the Pele Yoeitz, and while Ratzon Hashem is in these situations as seemingly abstract and foreign as they may seem. Because there are many evils that come from one side of the Eretz Yisrael, it's very hard. Eretz Yisrael is nikne b'isurim. It can be very difficult and uncomfortable in certain situations. And especially besides just living there, so to help your parents live there, it could get very sticky with your father and he's counting you for a favor. It's a great mitzvah. That as much as we're saying it's noble and praiseworthy for a person to help his parents move and relocate to Eretz Yisrael, but he shouldn't come to a matziv where he's going to regret his actions and become resentful chas v'shalom towards his parents. There's a concept of yotzas schar b'efsed, that you lose the benefit from the hefsid. There's too much hefsid. There's too much negativity. There's too much downside, and that washes out. That outweighs the benefit, and sometimes it's not kedai. So even if it might seem like a beautiful idea to help your parents relocate to Eretz Yisrael, says the Pele Yoeitz, it might just be not so pashut all the time because it might harbor bad feelings and ill will and expectations and favors and repayment and ultimately resent chas v'shalom. And especially when we're dealing with such a mitzvah of kibbut avim, one of the asaras hadibros, chacham einav b'roisha, as he says over here, the wise man has his eyes in his head and sees in the future and has to foresee and forecast what might come about in these specific situations. If a person is able a person should be sure, basically in this situation, that there's only going to be schar good, but not chas v'shalom bad. And the point over here that the Pele Yoeitz is saying over here is that a person should be very vigilant and careful before making any decision, not just about Eretz Yisrael, to make sure that there's going to be more good coming out than bad. It's important that a person should always have in mind to do the right thing, to do the noble thing, but at the end of the day, the Yeshiva Eretz is a Gevaldik mitzvah, and if one can do it and facilitate it, it's great. But of course, it has to be done b'menucha, with shalom, and if not, then a person should reconsider.